Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Ready to do this again? Hey, so let's see. Today's exciting day. Well, kind of, sort of. I mean, depending on who you are and how much of a geek you are. um, exciting for me because we get to finally play some D&D again. So, haven't got a chance to play in a while as a player. So yeah, it'll be cool to kind of get back to it. So hopefully get my monk some quality time on the in play. So I'm going to do a couple things on the base with my monk as is. Hey, I think we're good. Going back to my ogre mage for a bit. I'm going to do some just some basing stuff on him for the moment. We'll see what else I can get done later. He probably isn't really the best guy to be working on because I don't know how much time I have, but I just feel like I need to get a little something going on him. So let's throw in some boulders, and then we'll put on some grass. We'll just kind of go all in on the on getting him a little bit more up to date, a little bit more finished up on the ground part. Don't want this stuff. Nah, it's the wrong rocks. I want different rocks. Got some of those kind of weird rocks. And let's see what we got here. Grass, I'll need that. Got big old boulders around. Where do I want to put big old boulders? These are big boulders, but they might work. Sometimes it seems like little patches of things are better than really wants to slide off. This definitely must be round. So there's flatter rocks which don't want to roll off so much, but probably not the most convenient place to get into a kung fu fight. So, but these are some hardy little rock zones. I do have rocks that might be a little less aggressive. These rocks, not quite so big. Now, obviously, once you paint them, they're all kind of the same, right? Thing is, if I do it too linearly, it's like you kind of get that forced feel. Like he's like, hey, you just got this convenient line of rocks. So I try to make it look like it's there's some rocks around him, but not necessarily an entire, you know, like yeah, there's this pile of rocks, but they're not like I'm not having him fight in the mountains, you know. It's kind of the goal here is just so it just looks like there's rocks around, and I'm not worried about the color difference of my rocks. Here I'll. So my goal here is to try to make this more visible to you. So I'll have to adjust it again later if I decide to so I was just thinking like yeah, let's do that. Okay. I think that works. Now the big thing is we'll try to glue that down, and then I'll put glue kind of all around the ground there, and we'll put some grass in. We'll just have lots of, just like I say, it's going to be mostly just grass, and then we'll see how it goes. Now, what I could do to make this a little smoother is I will grab my handy dandy insta dry glue. I'm serious, this stuff is the bomb, man. It is the bomb. I just put a little bit of glue on my rock, like so. Preferably I don't get this all over my hands. And then do a little squirt right where I want it. We'll just pop that guy there. In about 2 seconds, that'll be dry. And then we'll do the same thing here. Phew, stuff is potent smelling. So is the glue. I mean, it's like between the glue and the... I don't know how fast that stuff dries, but I'm telling you, this stuff dries quick. I wonder if it'd be better if I just took my glue like that. And then I don't get the glue on my fingers. That'll be dry in about 2 seconds. And then we'll put another one down here. And then we'll put this guy in. Thing is, it dries off my hands quick, and this stuff doesn't stick to my hands as long as I don't put glue on my fingers, because I'll be posed if I do that. No. There you go. Okay, there we go. Glued on. We are set. I wonder if I could do like a tiny little one on top. You know, just kind of make it look like there's some loose rocks on there too. There you go. All right, so now the fun part is I can't do anything with this for installing grass. Grass will not let me do that. If I want to do anything interesting, I'm going to have to dump out one of these big containers. Let's see, do I have an empty one? I have empty-ish ones. It's best to have like a tub for this kind of thing, because as long as this guy will fit in there. Yep, he'll fit. Okay. So we will take this off. Put it off to the side for a minute, and then we will take some glue, lots and lots of glue. Now in this case, this is not the best, but I don't think, I do have classic super glue here, never mind. So classic super glue is better for grass because it's thin and it'll be low and it'll just fill in the space. And it's probably not punched. I don't think I have any way to punch this. Nope. Oh, this one has like. Okay. So I gotta punch it. Sometimes they used to have points on the back of the glue and you'd flip it over and stab it, but I guess not anymore. That's not a thing these days, I suppose. I don't know, a paper clip punch it? Yep. It's pretty thin. Don't want to put any pressure on the tube while you're doing this because it'll just squeeze all over your fingers, but I'm sure you know that already. Definitely will have to stop a little early so that I can get ready for my D&D, because I gotta take minis and stuff with me. And that's a prep. All right, so here's the fun part. So we're gonna go ahead and just stick him in there, and then yeah, I don't need that. I'll just start plopping stuff down here. Definitely want a lot around the rocks. In fact, I'm even thinking I might want to put some taller grass. I don't really have tall grass, but so I'm not sure the best way to do tall grass. But I mean, what is the best way to do tall grass? Probably get tall grass, huh? It's like, yeah, I'll tell you how to put tall grass down. Get some tall grass to put down. It's like, not exactly what I meant, but okay. This stuff doesn't dry so fast that I can't. Tell you, super glue doesn't dry as fast as you think. It's really kind of iffy on its. Alright, so that's good. Let's go ahead and get some grass now. I don't really have, like I said, varying lengths of grass, so I'm just going to go with that's fine. This is why I do it in a tub. Because it's a mess. It's a mess to do. It's hard to apply. But then when the stuff that doesn't stick can go back in the container later. But what I will do, what I can't really easily do, is carefully mix in some other kinds of patchiness. So let's try this. continuing trying to find those parts that did not get any grass on them. Now it's not that, I mean, static grass is okay. I'm not exactly sure the best way to make static grass stand up. It's supposed to work pretty good, but as you can see, it's pretty flat. Looks like somebody mowed the lawn, and it's but once it all is stuck on there, I don't know. Like I said, there's supposed to be a way to make it stand up, supposedly, but I don't know. I don't know what that way is. And then eventually you just start knocking off and you find out where the stuff stuck. See, like I didn't get any glue around the outside edges there, so you can see that it's not sticking there. But that does tell me that where I need to get more glue. So I take my glue, where did I put it? Plop that on there. Okay, so we'll let that dry for a few minutes, while I try to get something else done. And then I can pull off the extra of that and move on. All right, who else? What other guy? So, any ideas on how I can make him he actually doesn't look that bad. I do like him, but I just feel like there's something I can do. Like one, my rope there is looking kind of iffy. And he needs skin highlights. I don't know what to use for that. That doesn't change the color of his body. His horns probably could be a little bit more bone colored. I don't want to go totally bone colored, but something pale, like a flesh again. I tend to like to use like a dark flesh, or even a dark flesh, and then when you use like a dark flesh, it kind of has already a bone-ish look, yellowish bone look. I'll also use something like this is a blonde highlight. I don't know if I like that one too much, but I just want those horns to be a little bit more standy outy. Standy outy is my official term for horns that stand out. Let's see what I can do. There's only so much you can accomplish in the next few hours, but let's go ahead and hit stop on him. We'll switch over to my demon monk, and we'll put some horn color on to try to make his horns pop a little bit more. Where's my camera hat? Oh, I went that way. It's way off target. Oh yeah, I got these lights out of my face. There you go. Swing of mine is almost touch. It's like I think it is actually touching the horn. His horns are glued to his wings. Which, I mean, I guess is okay, but it's just weird. Probably makes the wings more stable. The trick here is trying not to get ink or paint where I don't want it. Which is always the trick in painting, right? Every time you're trying to do miniatures like this, it's like, just don't touch the skin, don't touch the clothes, don't touch whatever. It's always something. And you're like, oh nope, this is why people say I can't do that because my this, that, or the other thing shakes too much. It's like, nah, trust me, my hands are not steady. They may. It's just sometimes you just got to learn which direction to move your hands. And the thing is, with muscles, right? So when you're just trying to hold steady, it's a lot harder than when you're actually moving. That's why you try to think, okay, give the muscle something to do. So you push the brush, you stroke the brush. Don't try to touch the brush because then you're not moving and it's shaking because it's like all the muscles are like too busy trying to balance their center point. It's like, it's easy to stand on one foot when you quickly switch to the other foot, right? Because you're not losing balance in the middle of a step. It's when you try to stand there and hold your balance that your muscles are all like, it's too much to do. You start losing your balance because you're just trying to make focus on keeping that balance for the whole time. If you don't have to do it for long, the muscles can actually do it pretty easily in a lot of cases. So what you're doing is you're trying to teach your muscles to do tiny motions, but so if you push away or pull towards or whatever it is that's comfortable for you, those kind of actions can be a lot more controlled. You just got to learn you got to train your muscle to do this short stroke. Because, it's not big stroke, so you actually hit the targets you want to hit. You don't you don't overshoot, but you'll actually be able to still do pretty straight lines if you just try to keep the brush moving. And I've noticed I'm gotten a lot better at, just in time, you learn to do the shorter strokes. I've gotten better at it. And it's a lot better than trying to be precise in the sense that you're let's just touch that spot, and then that's when my hand starts to shake and it goes. So my eyes are difficult, but even on your eyes, if you start teaching your muscles to do those short brush strokes. When you start doing the eye, you just do a short, tiny brush stroke. Do a little up, a little down. Just make sure you have a nice pointy brush, and just kind of target what you're aiming at. And surprise, you're like, hey, I got the eye, man. So you just got to start visualizing that it's not such a tiny dot as a tiny canvas, something a little bit bigger than you may visualize at a distance. Now again, I am not an expert painter, so these guys who know what they're doing, who do this stuff all the time, are probably like, yeah, well, they have their own tips and tricks, which sometimes I try their things. And like the whole brushing away or brushing forward, these are all things that I've tried because somebody who's a little bit more experienced suggested it. And I'm like, some of that stuff works. But to everybody's got their own, like, what works best for them. But I have just found that moving your muscles, moving stroke, a directional stroke, is more effective than a targeted stroke. That's just kind of my experience. Take it as you will. Take it and do with it as you will, that is. These aren't really horns, but I consider them kind of like spikes, blades. It's like a lot of times, just if you just paint away from the stuff you don't want to, that's why I'm saying a directional stroke that goes away from the area you don't want to get paint on. Gives you a fighting chance. I'm kind of doing it really, again, I'm trying really hard to make this more like a finishing effort. If it was like a starting effort, I'd probably be being a little less precise. But I really don't want to have him have paint where I don't want it right now. It's just I don't want to spend extra time beyond just the little tasks. So sometimes you're a little bit more inclined to go faster and just do and then fix later. Sometimes you're just like, I want to get it done. Everything I do right now needs to be the final step. So I'm not, I did notice that my phone went off. I apologize. Hey, I'm off screen. Why don't somebody say so? Alright, what else has he got? He's got some spikes on his leather arm pads. His skin is too close in color to the leather on his arms, though, to be honest. I'm actually tempted to try to change that leather up. Now that I have a better leather, a better color for the making leather look worn and used, I'm tempted to just try to do that. This is going to be kind of a major step, but it'll look good when I'm done. Hopefully I've got time for it. I'm going to take the white. I'm going to go over my leather with the white to lighten it up to the point where it's, well, very light. And then I can, and this is an ink, so it's not going to be totally white, but it'll allow me to basically reset my leather so I can put the other leather stuff on. The better brown, this Wasteland Brown is so good at making a nice worn leather. And I really want to do that. So, but plus, it might provide a little bit more contrast to his skin, which is actually a reddish brown, but it's gotta make sure I don't hit his skin. Now, I'm not turning his, if you're just checking this out, why are you putting white on there? It's like, no, that's not the goal here. It's just I'm resetting this brown so I can use a slightly different brown on it that looks just better. And when I painted this guy originally, when I started him, I didn't have that brown. And then I'm like, oh, this is such a cool brown. Well, for leather, it's when you want your leather to look worn. Wasteland Brown, man, that's the way to go. There's probably other ones that are similar, but it's an express paint from Vallejo, this one, and it is probably the best I have found so far. I don't know, there's probably others that are good too, but you know, there's this stempling process where you can kind of try to you put a light color under a dark color and then you try to stempel it, but for targeted actions, that's actually kind of hard. In other words, trying to get it into small spaces. It's not that easy to stempel. And it's a complicated effort. I mean, that's like a multi-part effort. If you could just paint it like a light color of a white or a light tan and then go over it with this Wasteland Brown, it will do exactly that without any effort on your part. So easy. So easy, man. It's just like, finally a dream. I can do real leather now. Without all that weird work. I have done stempling that worked out okay. It just, to me, it's just a lot of effort. And if you prefer like a yellowish browning or where it'll work, but the brownness that goes over the white is effective enough that you really don't need to worry about the amount of white that's there. It's going to cover the white enough, and it'll almost make it look kind of that yellowish color. I'm telling you, it's nice. Now I'm hoping that one coat of this lighter color will let me do what I want. I'm not really planning to make it totally white, so it's probably not going to be quite as dark. But my thought is, the more I have, the I'd say a lot of this is, I'm doing this because it's just too similar to his skin color, and I'm hoping this other color will be more lighter and more leathery texture. Thus allowing it to look like it's, truly a different part. You know what? I'm going to do it on his vest straps too. He's got these straps, and I'm not even sure what these are. These are going around. He's just basically wearing leather straps around his chest. Why? I don't know. It's like, what are they doing? It's funny as they go under his wings. I'm like, how do they do that? See, it goes all the way around here. I don't even know what it's got a clip of some kind that's I guess is supposed to be holding the strap on, but again, not sure why the strap's there to begin with. Does it protect his I don't know, what's it protecting? Protect his chi-chis? That's really all it's doing. It's just going over the top of his chest. It doesn't want to get his chest hit too hard, I guess. I don't know. It's like, what? What is that? It's not it. It's not there for. It's not holding anything. It's not holding a weapon. I don't understand it. Thing is, this is a custom guy, and I'm like, why didn't I see that in the customization of this character? How come I did not notice how weird? Alrighty, am I there? Nope, gotta do a little bit more on the bottom here, and then once this is all done, I can go back over it with the other stuff and see where we're at. Now that wing. It's so weird that this goes under the wing. It's like you're saying, is that supposed to be the wing or the strap? And then you're like, well, it doesn't make any sense that the strap is even there. So it's probably supposed to be the wing. Guess that's the problem with dynamically applied parts, you know. It's like, well, if I got to stick this on there, I will, but it doesn't make sense because it's like it's a non-intelligence assembly. So when you have like Hero Forge uses an app, a computer, right? And it says, okay, you want to add this, and it knows where to put it, but it doesn't take logical considerations. Like you have a wing here, well, then these straps can't go under the wing, they can't go over the wing, they got to go around the wing, or they got to be in some other way. And I don't, their computer system that puts in these things on Hero Forge is not smart enough to know that this object should not be, you know, overcompensating the, should not be overlapping, I'm sorry, the object that it's sitting on top of, you know. And now I'm just adding a little trim with this so that when I put the other stuff on, it'll show a little bit brighter in spots. You know, it's kind of, where you put this will make a bigger difference on where the, and how the wear looks through the wood, through the brown. So I'm just trying to basically give it some highlights, essentially is what I'm doing, and I'm doing it before I put the wood on, or the color on, so that you don't have to figure out how to do it later. Alright, I think I have all the areas that are going to be leathered. Okay. Alright, so I'll let that dry just for a moment. And then I should probably touch up the back horns too. Trying to make sure this blends a little bit. Getting the highlight on the top of the horn, but without getting, again, the tricky part is trying not to get lines. You want more blendiness, but sometimes blendiness is hard. There we go. A little better. Yep. All right, so let's go ahead and do the wasteland brown. Should be dry enough for what I'm trying to do. It's okay if it blends a little bit. It's not like the white's going to totally whap it out. And I already have the wasteland brown here, so let's take the extra water off my brush. It's probably pretty wet because it's been sitting overnight. It's definitely not coming out very dark because it's so. It's like my wet palette got it so wet last night. The thing is, I haven't been adding water to this in a couple of days now, but it holds water for so long. That sometimes I think it just dilutes the paint so much. Yeah, I know, I'm being quiet. It's just like, I've got a slight problem right now. This paint is too wet. And I'm trying to soak out the extra water while trying not to get it in places it's not supposed to go. This is proving to be a little challenging. Sometimes it's just better to pour a new drop of paint down. I should have done that. Make my life less complicated. the other side here. I may still have to go over it with a fresh drop because this is just so thin. So thin that it's just not quite giving me the full brown effect I'm looking for. But I mean, it is darkening, but it's definitely brown. Not to the extent that I wanted it to be. Oh, it doesn't look, I guess it does look okay. It's just not ideal. I mean, I guess as I keep adding new layers, it does seem to get where I want it to go. It's just not as quickly. Guess it is starting to get there. Still just have to be careful not to have so much liquid that it can't go down without leaving puddles. No, yes, it's a contrast paint. Needs a little bit of puddling, but not so much that it's running. Alright, so with that, I think, what time is it? I don't know. I think I'm getting some text too. I probably make sure to check those. My wife's character needs a little assistance to get ready. Because she's not real fluent. Obviously, she's not a geek like all the rest of us that are playing. Not a gaming nerd. She likes playing games, but just not to the same extent. So she doesn't get quite as involved. She likes playing I think she's enjoying the D&D. She just prefers the action parts, the things where you're doing stuff. Role playing's a little rough for her, but she likes it. I think she's enjoying just being around people and doing something with our son and friends. So. But that said, we kind of help her out, keep making sure her character gets, is ready and she's able to do what she needs to do. But there was a level up, and we're at a point where you have to make a decision, like a level 4 where you get a feat. So we're going to help narrow down some feats for her, but I got to get her stuff in because she hasn't had it. It's not updated on the site very well yet, so we're using D&D Beyond. Oh, look at that. I missed an entire wrist brace over here. Hasn't even been touched yet. It's got these little spikes on his on the leather. I'm trying not to paint with the brown. Just making sure to get a couple layers of the coat on so that it starts coming up to the expectations. There you go. It's much better. It actually varies a little bit in color from the rest of his skin, a little bit more detailishly. I don't think I've got any more white that has slipped my view. All right, it's a little better. Okay, so let's see. I got to check these texts, see if there's anything important going on in the world. May not even be texts, really. I get notices all the time. Oh, oh. I'm trying to go back to here. Okay. All right. Stretch back. So yesterday I worked out my shoulders and arms and biceps, and now, well, arms, biceps, and triceps. Shoulders or biceps and triceps. And they're really sore. What time is it? 11:44. Okay, so it's almost 12. I got an hour and a half. I gotta check something here. No, I don't have to check something here. I need to check something here. I don't know what her normal role is. Yeah, we're trying to figure out my wife's stuff so that we can get her set up for today's campaign scenario or session or whatever. So I've been trying to figure out how to make his wings more ethereal looking, giving him that ghostly look. And that's what the light color is, and it kind of does that, but I'm trying to think maybe that's not ghostly enough. It's too, I need to add more of the ghostliness, because that's what I want it to be, more ghostly. Because his wings are not real. They're simply a astral manifestation of his powers, of his monkly astral form. That's really uber duper super duper watered down. Tastes kind of funky. Yeah, so the trick here is going to be trying to get the extra chunk off here. What is he? Brushwork? I don't want it to be so much that I don't want to brush it off completely, but I also don't want a bunch of extra grass. A lot of it didn't even stick. Maybe I did let maybe the glue did dry faster than I thought. It got it dried up. So that's actually, it doesn't look that bad. Actually, maybe if I threw some more patches of grass in, it actually probably wouldn't be so bad. I did put a fair amount around so you can see where the glue dried, and it just looks like wetness, like puddles of water, which maybe isn't why it doesn't look so bad. It kind of gives it that natural kind of muddy. And it makes sense. An ogre isn't going to live in a lushy grass zone, so it actually might not be too bad for me. I might actually stick with that. Yeah, I'm leaning towards keeping it just like that. We'll see. We'll see if I change my mind on that, but I am leaning towards keeping it just as we see it. And then still have to do a lot of stuff. I mean, he's got his backpack bag cover there. He's got the little weird turtle dude on his back. I don't know what the heck that is, but he's there. He looks like a weird little monkey turtle dude. I don't know. And he's wearing a helmet. Or maybe it's a... I really don't know, man. That guy is weird. And he's got a hole in his head. What the heck? Or a divot in his head. Yeah, I don't know. He's gonna be weird. I might actually have to put a little bit more. In fact, I think I will. He's got a part on his head that's just not even primered. Which is going to make painting it more challenging. Painting those spots more challenging. So I think I'm gonna throw some more There we go. I need to mix my primer a little there. It was not. All right. He's got a lot of little jewelry and things that I gotta somehow decorate on him. I mean, somehow I was painting it, but he's got quite the. I don't know what the heck those designs are on his arm thing. They're kind of weird. Is that a face? Kind of looks like it might be a face of some kind. He's got a weird thing going on. He's got a flower on there and some weird kind of face thing going on in his armband. See? It's got, how weird that is. It's got like a weird voodoo kind of thing going. He'll probably not, like I said, it's unlikely he'll get to come out and play. He's just a form of my monk. It's tricky because I really wish transforming wasn't a, what do you call it? I wish transformation was not an action. I mean, why does it have to be an action? You don't do anything. Unless you're doing something special and attempting some special action. I mean, all you're doing is changing your form. I mean, yeah, it takes some time, but it has no effect on anything. And I feel like a good changeling could change like Beast Boy. Should be able to change like Beast Boy, where you just you can run and jump and just be mid-air transformation into something else. That's how I picture it. It's like your enemies would be like, oh, where's he coming from? Oh, gotta take a picture of my animated axe. This is just an oddball thing I'm letting myself get distracted on today. Whoops. What did I do? Wrong button. Today's distraction is brought to you by Ken doesn't know what to do next. So he's working on this axe that just happened to come out. Oh, that's a terrible picture. That is a terrible, terrible picture. Tell because it was just uber super duper blurry. Yeah, it's not much better, but it's better. So sometimes you just got to let yourself do other items. Some things are fast. Like I think this will go really quick. So it's like while I'm trying to decide what other stuff to do, let's go ahead and slap some paint. This guy to me is like, he's probably a 20-minute paint job. Well, okay, maybe I'm being overly optimistic there, but I think it's got like straps of some kind. I'm just painting the wood, but for now, we'll paint the straps after. I don't have time for over picketiness there. This will be the base color. And then I can go back over the other parts later, but for now, oops, you know what I didn't do? I didn't prime this guy. How's this gonna work? I did not prime him at all. See? And you can tell, see how the paint pulls away? I'm not even sure, because the problem is if you don't prime, even if it does go on, sometimes it won't stick. Like the paint will like rub off, which can be problematic. I mean, it's a pretty small dude, but it is metal, and a small piece. And lack of primer could be a big problem. I think nobody in their right mind would tell you, oh, you don't need a prime metal. so, so yeah, I definitely did a no-no there, but it's not a big piece, and as you can see, I was able to get the thing to coat, but again, I don't know how well that's going to stick when you do it this way. Well, I'm going to put my other stuff over the top of that in a moment. It's got like a bird. It's got like a bird handle coming off the back. What I might do, let's do this. I'm going to take my white ink over there. I'm going to throw another coat down right over the straps. So I'm doing this so that when I put the browns, so the brown will look darker where I put the darker color in the background, and then it'll look lighter where I put the strap. So hopefully it'll look like two different parts. Again, hopefully is my strategy. What actually happens will be heavily determinant on how how well I can get this to cover up. It's like my brush is getting, it's losing it's kind of split. It's not helping my cause. I need to twirl the split out. All right. Get the crisscross going here. I think I've almost got this way I want it. Nice and bright, so that when I throw the other stuff on, I'm actually going to get my bottle out and add a fresh drop in there, though. It's really hard to get, once your paint starts to get all watered down like that. Once it gets all watered down, it doesn't want to, it's not quite as adhering as it was when you first got it out, you almost need to add a fresh drop of paint every time just to give it some more of the fresh pigment. Alright, I know, I'm being quiet again. It's just that some of this stuff is kind of hard to get it where you want it, And then you just like go into focus mode and your brain's like, I can't talk right now. I can't do two things at once. Two difficult things at once, anyway. Alright, so yeah, we'll, We'll get that to be darker in just a minute as that dries a little bit more. I think I want... what else needs work? You know what I also need to find out is... What time is it? 12:08. I'm trying to decide when I need to stop so that I can make sure I have enough time to get ready. I want to keep going, but I'm not sure to what extent and how much time I have to do so. So I probably should be wise and stop. There's a lot of things I need to paint, though. A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. You know what I didn't do is I haven't started on Santa here. I should probably get him primed. Thought I fixed his foot. And so I used green stuff to try to remold his foot. I don't know if you saw my review on these guys, but he had these guys. This order of minis definitely had some issues. And you know what? I didn't actually see what the guy said when I wrote him back. I should probably go look. I'm just trying to rub off the textures that green stuff left. Yeah, make it smooth without sanding it down to the point where it's flat again. It's not bad. targeted sanding on tiny little things. Not that easy to do. But this stuff is pretty good about sanding down, so hopefully it'll do the trick. Because I tried to do a basically I remolded his entire armor plate up here at the top because it was pretty wonked out. And wonked out is an official term. But overall, I think I've got him pretty good. I don't know if this is smoother. No. I really don't know what else to do with that. So let me just take I'll just take my razor here and try to go into areas that where I didn't actually put the stuff. I just want to scrape off the Oops, I'm not even on screen now. So I'm trying to just get the extra gunk off around my repairs and see how it comes out. I mean, mostly it looks pretty good. Considering that thing was totally gone, that little cross here, it didn't exist. So I basically rebuilt that. And this little part here, which looks okay, probably could use a little bit more correction, but it's not bad. I had to fill in that gap there because there was a significant gap on his thing. And this here piece didn't exist at all. That was all gone. I had to fill that in completely. So I think overall, considering how much was kind of deformed here, I feel like it's much better than it was. Now, once I paint it and prime it and do even just priming it, it'll probably make it look a lot more even. But I do have to glue him to something, or at least glue tack him to something so that I can start painting him. Because as is, he's not going to work. I have no way to hold him. I'm not going to hold him like this. That's not going to work. So I got to either put him on a big base or on a medium base or on some kind of base that works for him. I feel like he's not this big a base guy. I mean, he could be just for the sake of. And it also doesn't feel like the right base. I don't know. It's like, where's his feet supposed to go? I feel like he needs to have like a more fighty zone. It's like where would he be fighting at? You know, he's Santa. He's gonna pick a zone to fight in. I could just use glue dots, but I'm not sure how well those will hold for keeping him steady while I'm painting. If I glue him to this, I mean, ultimately I'm trying to find a way to glue him down that I can hold him, right? But it's not so much glue that I can't get him off, and hold on. Now, if I use this, the question is, do I make him perma-glue or do I just do temporary glue? This I can do whatever I want with later, but I don't know. I mean, I do like this one, but it's have to be some way of attaching him that's not going to keep him, going to make him stay forever. I don't know. Will glue dot work? Do I have where are my glue dots? Glue dots are, it's basically that rubbery stuff you see inside of magazines. Well, I used to see them. I don't know, olden days. Back when they used to do that. This is how they used to hold their ads in, and you'd peel them out. It's basically what this stuff is. And I'm not too worried about how much, because I'm just going to peel it off. It just peels off. That's the thing about it, right? Just get it on his foot. See, I don't know if this is going to be firm enough, because it's not exactly, see, he'll hold him, but he's like wobbly. I don't know if I want that. Now, granted, I just slop these on in globs, but I think I'm going to have to go with some kind of gluing. I wonder if I can do a tiny enough spot where I can cut him off as needed. All right, let's do this quick. I keep shifting directions on what I'm working on, because I'm trying to get lots of things done and out of the way, but yeah, it's not doing much for that middle spot. Yeah, I should have put a darker wood color on the main shaft of this thing. Probably would work better. Because my straps are not contrasty enough. It does look darker everywhere else, but not enough, so. And maybe if I threw another coat down in the other and try to avoid the strap zone, but that might be hard to do. It's actually not too bad color. It's kind of an odd color for it. But we'll put him aside. I gotta be careful with these guys though, because if I don't, they really will pop off. The glue will come off. So, an uber tiny drop of glue for Santa? Is that what I'm thinking? I don't know. Uber tiny drop of glue on his feet. Maybe just one of his feet? Or just on his toe one? Just two tiny little dots, enough that it could pop off. Jeez. Didn't realize that his toe doesn't really touch the ground. There we go. Hopefully it'll do the trick. I mean, if I can get my, as long as I can get my, what do you call it? My razor under his foot, with I might be able to pop it off without causing any permanent damage. Now this I can be permanent because I will use that base and it'll just have flex iron on it already. This is just so I can pop it off and maybe decorate the base. Either decorate this base or put them on a fancy base and decorate that one. I don't know. But we'll find something. Alright. That'll do. I don't want to put too much pressure on him. I don't know how dry this stuff. This stuff works pretty good for drying things, but alright. Whoa, 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 that magnet sucked the snot out of that. What the heck? that sucked the living patooties out of that, man. Yeah, it was enough to pull some of the stuff off of his foot. That's not good. And that goes to show that I might not be able to remove this. I don't know. I have to re-glue. Dang it! I've really pulled it off. Good thing I'm putting tiny dots. Tiny dots. I was not expected. I didn't expect it to suck it out of my hand like that. Yeah, this guy might be perma-stuck. Oh well, if he's perma-stuck, then so be it. It's going to take a second longer because I didn't put the Insta-Dry on there. And then, okay, so once I do this, I can take him outside and spray him with some primer. Get him ready for, I'll probably just do the usual, spray him in a dark color, black. And then oftentimes a dry brush down, but it's, I might just do a double primer. Where you do black kind of all over, and then you do a gray down, and then you can do like a dry brush white over the top. So He's got a weird. Let's see what Etsy guy says. Aren't we curious to see what they said about my defective parts? I know I am. Let's see here. See what the Etsy customer service is for this guy. Why do I? Yeah. All right. News. Reviews. Messages. See what he says. Okay. Oh. Let's see, which piece did I have the biggest problem with? To be honest, I really said Santa was the biggest problem, but I may have fixed it. So apparently this Medusa I got was a freebie. I didn't even order it. So I can't complain. I didn't even notice it. Notice that it wasn't on my thing. Well, if I had to say, the Santa was the biggest deal, but I'm thinking now after I fixed him that he's gonna be fine. Now that I've remolded his many flaws. He has some significant flaws, but I don't know. What could I do to... Which one would I prefer him reprint if I was really to state? This thing, I tell you, I think he printed it the wrong size. It's just way big. I don't know. It's not even a piece that I really care about. I don't know if I'm going to even put it on him. Because the sword and the shield, I just don't know if I need that weird axe thing on his back. It doesn't fit. I don't know. This thing sits on his back. It's supposed to sit behind him, like right here. I'm not sure why, but it doesn't. It's like the little square don't fit. The head is gargantuan. I tell you, this axe it's just like, I don't know, and it's such a weird thing. It's got like a angry face. Is that supposed to be like Krampus's head? Maybe that's what it is. He took Krampus's head off. Maybe that's what it is. He fought, he won. Krampus is toast. Maybe that's what I need to do. I'm gonna hold on a second. I gotta find a horse. I have somewhere a 28mm horse, and I need to show this guy the difference between a 28mm horse. This is a 28mm scale horse right there. And this is the horse that came with this guy that's supposed to be 32mm. So I want to and this guy's standing on his hind legs and he's not even as tall as that guy. Kind of hard to compare, but all right, well, he says he'll reprint one, and I think that's the only one I'd rather have reprinted, I suppose. Because I've kind of fixed Santa. I'm ready to just deal with him. But I'm going to have to stop. I have to start getting ready to go. So I'm going to prime this guy. Probably don't need to do that on screen, so you're off the hook on that one. Besides, I'm not even usually in the room when I'm priming him. Because I take it outside and go prime it in the outdoors. So until next time, take it easy. Wish me luck on D&D today, and hopefully my monks will get some time in the sun, my monk forms, and they'll be able to kick some butt. Till later. Talk to you later. Bye.